Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Michael /PokeOz. On this channel we talk all things Pokemon card investing, and in today's video I'm going to talk you through some booster boxes that I think are well and truly worthwhile picking up. Now, if you've been tuned into this channel for a while, first of all, thank you. But one thing you'll probably realize is predominantly talk about sealed investing on this channel. So, look, it's been a bit of a funny time for the Pokemon card world. Pokemon has been on a crazy journey over 2025. For argument's sake, it's probably been the craziest year that I've seen in the Pokemon card hobby. Maybe second to the launch of it back in 1999. We all remember that time, if you're somewhere around my age, in your mid-30s, where you could jump into any store and with your parents or whoever it might be and pick up some Pokemon cards, your first ever pack, whether it's base set or jungle or fossil. Like, what a phenomenal time. But 2025 has been absolutely bonkers. And what we're starting to finally see is maybe just a little bit of a cool off or a retraction in the market. And this is not abnormal for this time of year. So don't be scared off by that. Don't be scared off by normal market cycles. It's also probably influenced by some other external factors in the world at the moment. You know, there's decisions being made in the United States and other places that have seen reductions in things like share markets and property markets and other alternate investing in markets. So look, these things are all normal, and I don't think it's a bad thing, but here's exactly what happens in the Pokemon card world, particularly when it comes to sealed product, is people get a little bit scared off buying. And I'll tell you the reason why people get scared off buying, and I think it's just this saying, it's a bit of a weird saying, but you'll get it and it makes sense. And that is, you don't want to catch a falling knife. And I think that's where people get scared off buying. So let's just take any booster box. It could be, let's jump into Paldea Evolved at $450 US. Let's say it starts going down and then people see it go to 430 and then 420 and then 410. Not saying this is going to happen. This is just a hypothetical. People don't want to pull the trigger and buy because they're scared it'll get even cheaper. And that's where people hold off from buying. And as people hold off from buying, you start getting that massive difference between buyers and sellers. And sellers will still need to move inventory or want to move inventory. Like if you've got a box for sale and it's up for sale for $450, well, you might throw an offer behind it and then sell it for $420. And if that doesn't move, you might throw another offer behind it and sell it for $400. And if that doesn't move, you're like, well, let's put it in the 300s and sell it for $390. And then you get a buyer. So you start seeing this retraction in price, and it can happen very quickly, just as quickly as they can start going up. It's crazy, but that's why people sometimes hold off. So with all that in mind, let me share with you some examples of booster boxes that I still think are good investments and that will go up very well long term. The first one, which is a bit of an outlier, is Journey Together. And this was the first reintroduction of an old school mechanism with trainers and their Pokemon. This is a cool comeback. Could the set have been better? In my opinion, yes, it could have. But if we look at some of the cards inside here, it's actually quite a good Pokemon card set. The other thing that comes with it, of course, is the reintroduction of a box topper as well, which is such a cool, collectability / investability piece. So if you can get yourself a booster box with the box topper, that's only going to add value to it, in my opinion, long term. So if you look at some of the chase cards, it's actually not a bad Pokemon card set. Could it be a little bit larger? Could it have had a couple more SIRs? Could it have had a bit more depth to it? Yes, it could have had all those things, but we have Lily in there. Lily's one of, I guess, people's favorite trainer cards. So having Lily's Clefairy as the main chase card is not a bad move. The Salamence is a really good looking Pokemon card. We've also got things in there like Articuno, which is always, one of the legendary birds, which is a fan favorite. And we do have a really nice card like the Wailord. There are actually some good looking Pokemon cards inside this set. And look, this could fall in price. It's currently only $262 US, which makes it one of the cheapest booster boxes you can possibly buy in the whole Pokemon TCG at the moment. Like, find a cheaper booster box. They pretty much don't exist. Like, it's on par with what else is around that price? Maybe Scarlet and Violet base. And I know which one I'd prefer to buy out of Scarlet and Violet base and Journey Together. I think Journey Together is a better Pokemon card set. So with all that in mind, I don't think Journey Together is a bad pickup. And look, if it gets reprinted, because keep in mind, it's still well and truly in its reprint window, then look, prices might drop. But one thing you got to remember is, and here's a little inside trick in the Pokemon card space, is when a Pokemon card set first launches and we get the massive initial print wave, that's when it's cheapest at wholesale So cheapest at distribution. It's also going to be the largest wave or largest stock of that. And then, sometimes they're splitting into two, like Mega Evolutions is getting a second wave. Like this initial print run is split into two sections just because I imagine they're struggling quite hard to feed product out at the moment. And eventually though, when it gets reprinted, and whether that comes in 6 months time or 12 months time or 18 months time after the set launches, generally speaking, it's more expensive at a wholesale level. So it's more expensive from distribution. And also the reprint size or the launch size of it, or compared to the launch size of it, is a lot smaller. So we're getting a smaller wave and a dearer wave. And all those things combined is going to make it harder and harder to lower the floor of the price of that product. So Journey Together at $262, even if it gets reprinted this time next year for argument's sake, I don't think we're going to see that much of a reduction in the price of this product. Pokemon is still strong. Like all this scaremongering around it dropping down in price, if it does, so be it. Just buy more at a cheaper price. We all know how dear it's been for the last 6 months. Pokemon cards have been crazy, or nearly 12 months. It's been crazy and near impossible to buy anything at retail price. The second one I want to talk to you about is Destined Rivals. Destined Rivals is very expensive at the moment. But one thing it's got going for it, and this is the big one, is it's going to be the iconic booster box set from the Scarlet and Violet era. And if you look back across all the eras of Pokemon cards, there is always one or two iconic booster boxes across each era. And those ones always hold the most value. They will eventually hold nostalgia for people. They will have the best chase cards. They will be sought after by collectors. They will be sought after by investors. They will be sought after by rip and shippers. And as a result, all it does is put massive upward pressure on the price of the box. And we can see that already from Destined Rivals. It's coupled with a heap of nostalgia being a Team Rocket based set. And we can see how quickly the price has absolutely flown through the roof. Now, what will happen though is if this gets reprinted, which in my opinion it very likely will, it's not going to affect the price too much. And even if it does, there's so many people going to be waiting on the sideline to scoop this up. And that's where I will tell you to buy it. If it gets reprinted, which in my opinion it should, that's when you should swoop in and try and buy as many as you possibly can. This is going to be that iconic set from Scarlet and Violet era when it comes to booster boxes. If you look back to Sword and Shield, everyone knows Evolving Skies will be. That set will go down in history. If we go back to Sun and Moon era, people straight away think of Cosmic Eclipse and moreover than that, Team Up. If we go to XY era, people straight away think of Phantom Forces and Flashfire. If we go to Black and White, people talk about Dragons Exalted because of the Rayquaza chase card, and they also talk about Plasma Storm because of the Charizard chase card. There's always going to be iconic booster boxes from an era, and Destined Rivals, mark my words, will be the iconic booster box from the Scarlet and Violet era. It's going to be one of those booster boxes when even if you buy it now at whatever price it is, I haven't even checked it up. What is it, $400, $500 a booster box? Even if you buy it now and it gets reprinted and it goes to $350 a booster box or $380 a booster box, in 5 years' time, it's not going to matter. And even if it does get reprinted, just buy it at that lower price and dollar cost, you average yourself down. It's going to be the iconic set from Scarlet and Violet era. Now, before we jump on to the next one, I wanted to give a shout out to today's video sponsor, which is, of course, the Collector app. There'll be a link in the description to download it. Awesome, awesome app. I've been using this for, I checked it today, it's 1,100 days I've been using this app. So it's been a while since I've been using it. Fantastic app, so easy to use. You can put in your whole sealed and singles collection. You can now use a few extra features. There's heaps of new features. The main ones being though, when you go to your portfolio tab and you filter through what you've got listed, whether it's cards or sealed product, it typically only gave you one option, which is most expensive to least expensive. Now there's different filters on there. You can see what's got the most gains for the day. And the other big one is now once you sell something, so if you go into your account tab and see how much you've spent and what your paper gains are, so how much value your whole product or lineup is worth, you can now, once you sell something, enter in what you sold it for so you can put in realized gains. That is so, so important. This app is just flying. It's the #1 app in the space, and again, there'll be a link in the description to download it. The next one I wanted to talk to you about is Paldea Evolved. And in my last video, I spoke about this quite briefly and where I see it going. And at $458 US a booster box, I do see it going a lot higher than that. How much higher? That's a good question. I compared it to Lost Origin as its little brother, I guess, like nearly as good as, but not as good as. You look at the chase card, Giratina versus Magikarp. In my opinion, although they're both two phenomenal Shinji Kanda artworks, Giratina still just pips it. But in a PSA 10, the Magikarp actually pips Giratina. And that's really important. I'll tell you why it's really important. People love gambling. And I've spoken about this a few times. People love gambling and opening packs and trying to pull the card they want. But then moreover than that, you've got that additional gamble factor. It's like gamble on gamble. People want to chase that really big rush of getting an over $2,000 PSA 10 Magikarp. That is an expensive card in a PSA 10. So Paldea Evolved adds that extra element to it where you've got the gamble on the gamble. Now, moreover than that, it's also got a fair bit of depth to it, and it's got secondary chase cards like Tyranitar and Raichu, the Sleeping Raichu, which it's been codenamed as. And these will perform really well as well. It's got the whole Gen 9 evolutionary lineup, which, look, is there going to be some nostalgia attached to that? Perhaps, perhaps not. It feels like a lot of people live in Gen 1, 2, and 3. It seems to just be the way it is and where the money's maybe parked by people that are investing heavy into this stuff. But Paldea Evolved at $458 I still think is a really, really good pickup. And it's sort of leveled out over the last few months. So it's not all that expensive, or the last month, I should say. It's something that I see definitely moving up. And the last one I wanted to talk to you about is Brilliant Stars. Now, Brilliant Stars I've done a few pieces on recently, but I haven't gone into as much depth as I'd like to go into in this video. So at $515 I just feel it's very undervalued compared to a lot of other Sword and Shield booster boxes. And what are we comparing it to? It came in a really nice cluster, Brilliant Stars, with this just peak era of Sword and Shield, because the first half of Sword and Shield was quite poor, and we all know that. Holiday sets like Champion's Path, if you didn't get the Charizard, it was a bust, or the two Charizards, it was a bust. Rebel Clash was no good. Sword and Shield Base was no good. Darkness Ablaze was absolutely no good. Vivid Voltage was overprinted and it absolutely tanked the prices of things. And then we got this real sweet spot where we had this, introduction of Battle Styles, which brought alternate arts. Then we had Chilling Reign, which was a really, really good set. Then we had sets like Evolving Skies and Fusion Strike, which were absolutely phenomenal. And then we got hit with Brilliant Stars, which is a really, really good Pokemon card set. It reintroduced us to the Trainer Gallery, which has some really, really good chase cards inside it. It has some evolutions inside there. And moreover than the original evolutions, it has Umbreon and Sylveon inside there. It also has Mimikyu. It's a strong, strong, strong Trainer Gallery from Brilliant Stars. And it also gave us the Alt Art Charizard, as well as an alternate art Arceus and a Rainbow Charizard to throw things into the equation. Like, this is a better Pokemon card set than the $515 it seems to be given credit for. When we look at the things around it, Lost Origin at over 800, Fusion Strike, which did nudge over 1,000 and now it's back down to 950 or 920, whatever it might be. Like, Brilliant Stars is a good Pokemon card set. What's it missing to make it those prices, and why isn't it Fusion Strike price, or why isn't it Lost Origin price? Because it doesn't have multiple cards that are very expensive. That's its issue. And it doesn't have one main card that's very, very expensive. I still think the Alt Art Charizards may be perhaps a touch undervalued, but it's missing like the Alt Art Charizard being $800 and a secondary chase card being $300 and a third chase card being $150, sort of like what Fusion Strike has. That's what it's missing from making it really expensive. But I think there's still room for growth for some of the chase cards inside there, and therefore I think there's room for growth on that booster box. $515 I think it's a good pickup from the Sword and Shield era. Well, there you go. With things changing in the Pokemon card space and maybe a little bit of fear coming into the market, I think we can find some good pickups. I'm Michael, this is PokeOz, and I'll catch everyone next time.